Hello everyone, welcome to Anime No Me, and thank you for joining us for another One Piece video. Katakuri and Luffy have a healthy rivalry that started during their epic confrontation at the end of the Whole Cake Island arc, causing them to develop a certain respect for each other. Currently, Teach has captured Luffy's friend Kobe and Katakuri's sister Charlotte Pudding, so both have the same purpose of saving people close to them, which could lead to an alliance between these two characters. So in today's video, we're going to talk about the possibility of Luffy and Katakuri teaming up to rescue Kobe and Pudding, as well as defeat Teach and his crew, leading to a major battle. But before we dive into the video, if you're new to the channel or even if you've watched a bunch of our videos, we'd be absolutely honored if you'd leave us a like and even subscribe and maybe leave us a comment letting us know what you thought of the video. It really helps us out, but if you'd like to help out the channel in a bigger way, consider sharing this video or another one of your favorites with a friend. But without further ado, let's get into the video. So my friends, since the first meeting of Luffy and Charlotte Katakuri, they already had a kind of great rivalry during most of the Whole Cake Island arc. Luffy and Katakuri faced each other and tried to start a battle, but it was often interrupted by somebody. During Luffy and Katakuri's last confrontation, an epic battle was created. Luffy at all times having great difficulty in beating Katakuri, his rubber power being surpassed by Katakuri's Mochi Mochi no Mi. No matter what attacks Luffy used against Katakuri, Katakuri always managed to strike Luffy back even harder, injuring him several times. But Luffy wasn't just getting hit, he was looking to strengthen his haki. At times, Luffy tried to use Future Sight just like Katakuri and tried to predict his enemy's movements and forcing his observation haki to become stronger. But it was only after a long battle that Luffy managed to learn the same technique. But this still was not enough to defeat Katakuri. So Luffy then decided to demonstrate his new transformation that he managed to learn during his time skip training. Luffy revealed his transformation called Gear 4th Snake Man, a transformation that increased his speed of his punches, and with his now enhanced observation haki, he could land blows that even Katakuri's haki couldn't predict or foresee. Through these constant developments and adaptations, Katakuri started to realize that Luffy was a very powerful and interesting opponent, creating more and more admiration for that young pirate who had the goal of defeating Big Mom and in the future become king of the pirates. And in fact, the captain of the Straw Hat Pirates was the first person who ever managed to get Katakuri on his back on the ground, and was possibly the first person who even managed to defeat him, which caused Katakuri to be impressed with him, considering him more of a rival than an enemy. Currently in the manga, we see that Whole Cake Island has been invaded twice. The first time, Germa 66 invaded in order to kidnap Caesar, who was being held hostage there. The second time was when Van Augur and Kuzan took advantage that Big Mom's pirates were shaken and confused by the first invasion, so they went to Whole Cake to kidnap Charlotte Pudding. As we know, Pudding is a member of the Three-Eyed Tribe, people with a special power that can hear the voice of all things, which allows Pudding to translate the poneglyphs. But because she doesn't have her third eye awakened yet, this possibility is still currently quite low. And Teach didn't just go after Pudding. Before this kidnapping happened, Teach had gone to Amazon Lily to steal the power of Boa Hancock. But by the meddling of the Marines and Rayleigh, his mission ended up being not completed. However, Teach didn't end up leaving empty-handed. He was able to kidnap Kobe, who is the commander of that mission on behalf of the Marines. And even though he's a Marine, the members of the Marines couldn't do anything to stop Teach. As Prince Groose even said, neither the Marines nor Sword will be able to do anything about it, because if they try to recover Kobe by attacking the Blackbeard pirates, that would put the whole Marine organization in danger. This is because the Blackbeard crew would seek revenge, because taking on a Yonko crew is not something so easy to do. So even if they took a Seraphim with them, it'd still be a very difficult job to complete. So it's because of this reason that the Marines and not even the world government will try to do anything to save Kobe, which means that he's going to stay with Teach until he decides what he's going to do with the young Marine. However, although the Marines fear what Teach would do if they tried to save Kobe, Luffy and the Straw Hat Pirates have no fear in trying to save Kobe's life. No matter what it takes, they will go after Kobe to help him. Currently though, Luffy and the rest of the Straw Hats are on Egghead Island, and they're getting to know the island and also learning about the great scientist called Vegapunk. And in this arc, that might take a little bit longer to finish, unless Oda decides to speed it up. Even now in the manga, there's quite a few events that still need to happen. As we saw in the beginning of this arc, CP0 are on this way to take all of the Vegapunk's lives. And for that to be possible, it's necessary that they manage to destroy not only the original Stella Vegapunk, but the other 6 Vegapunk robots as well. These robot scientists that were created by Vegapunk himself are actual extensions of his consciousness, and they're different from the other robots that Vegapunk had created in the past. The Punks seem to have the same knowledge as their creator, being great scientists, yet working in different areas with their own experiences, while the original Vegapunk works on something he wishes to. So the mission that CP0 has is a bit complicated just by the fact that the Punks have great strength and also several different weapons at their disposal. Just consider all of the police pacifistas that walk all over the island, as well as all of the weapons that could be hidden around the island. And this is going to make it very difficult for enemies to capture Vegapunk. But now that the Straw Hat Pirates are forming a friendship with the Punks and the actual Vegapunk himself, CP0's mission is going to become all the more complicated and much more difficult to complete. So this means that either this arc is going to take a little bit longer to end because Luffy is going to spend a lot of time on this island while other events are happening in the world, such as the Revolutionaries' Rebellion and also the confrontation going on between Law and Teach. Or Luffy and the Straw Hats could escape with the Vegapunks as at least passengers, which would then put the battle with CP0 on pause. So whichever way it plays out, we have to know that the end of this arc is going to be the end of Teach and Law's confrontation. And Teach could very well be the victor because he's actually much stronger than Law, which would allow Teach to pursue his goal of finding the One Piece treasure. Once the Straw Hats leave Egghead Island, it's possible that Luffy could go after Teach to get Kobe back and also confront Teach for his actions. Because as we have said, Teach had invaded Amazon Lily. This is an island, after all, that is allied with the Straw Hat Pirates. But inevitably, however it plays out, the Straw Hats will find Teach and confront him. But he's not going to confront Teach alone. As we know, Pudding was captured too. Now, there are several different ideas out in the One Piece community that the next place that we're headed to is going to be Elbaf. And after finding out that all of Ohara's will and documents are in this Island of the Giants, we have to know that the Straw Hats and probably Teach are going to head there soon, because it's quite likely that that final poneglyph, the last road poneglyph in fact, could be located on Elbaf itself. But there is one little hitch in this whole plan. Teach needs Pudding to awaken her third eye, because otherwise she's not going to be able to read any of the poneglyphs. And this could still take a while to happen, as well as the fact that Pudding could just be obstinate and refuse to do it. The upside to this is that if Pudding refuses and has to be coerced by Teach, this is going to give the necessary time for her family to come find her. And now that Big Mom is no longer alive, Katakuri has probably become the leader of the Big Mom Pirates. So he's going to be the one that goes on the mission to rescue his sister. And this brings us back to the main point at the beginning of our video. This means that Luffy and Katakuri will have the same mission because they have the same enemy, to defeat Teach and to save their allies. So there could be a momentary alliance of Luffy and Katakuri, something that neither would probably have a problem doing. After all, the two fighters have a great respect for each other, and they're also very faithful in their promises, so neither of them would betray doing this rescue. And Katakuri would only try to do something against Luffy after they managed to rescue Pudding and Kobe. Because we have to remember that after Katakuri's defeat, Luffy promised him that they wanted to fight again. So even if they came to blows, this would ultimately be a friendly competition to measure each other and see how much the other has grown. Other people that could get pulled into this fight as well would be Boa Hancock and Rayleigh, because now that Boa Hancock is no longer a warlord of the sea, her island is now in danger, and in the future, they could be attacked again by more Seraphim. But now that we have this change in Luffy's status, this might make the world government understand that with the alliance between Amazon Lily and the Straw Hat Pirates, the Kuja Pirates are under the protection of a Yonko. And it may even seem that Teach is now at a disadvantage with so many pirates that now have a grudge with him. But again, we have to remember that Teach has played this a very long time, and he also has several ships at his disposal, which means he may have even more powerful pirates on his side, especially the former admiral fighting at his side, Aokiji. This is also coupled with the fact that along his journey, Teach has managed to acquire many valuable allies, being very powerful and world-renowned captains and pirates in their own right, and this makes his crew all the stronger. Now, whether this comes down to a Teach versus a handful of pirates, or something more like Teach's Grand Fleet versus the Straw Hat Grand Fleet, will yet to be seen. However, we know that Oda has hinted that there would be an epic battle coming at the end of our story, one that would be even greater than the Battle of the Best in Marineford, a confrontation between two of the most powerful pirate crews in the world. And of course, this is something that many have speculated for quite a long time, because Luffy's crew is considered the light, or the one that will bring the dawn of this new era, whether Teach is considered the one of darkness. And in this way, the conflict of the whole world and even the future of the One Piece universe would be decided by this battle. But one other thing to consider before we go. Because of the fact that Teach has played this long con game, we have to remember that he joined Whitebeard's crew just because he knew that they were likely to encounter the very devil fruit that he was after. So because of this, Teach might have kidnapped Kobe in an attempt to lure Luffy to him. And Teach is doing everything he can to lure Luffy closer, because he knows that in the future, they are both gonna be after the One Piece. And for all we know, Teach might know that Luffy is the key to finding that One Piece treasure. Thus, inevitably, a big confrontation between Luffy and Teach will happen. And it's very likely that Katakuri could end up on Luffy's side to support him and defeat Teach's pirates on Luffy's side, because he, just like Luffy, would not want to see Teach of achieving the goal or even see him become the next king of the pirates. But with all that said, my friends, we'd now love to know what you think about it. Do you think Teach knows that Luffy has something to do with finding the One Piece treasure? I mean, after all, he did know about the Yami Yami no Mi, so is it possible that he knew the true name of the Gomu Gomu no Mi being the Hito Hito no Mi model Nika? Next, what do you think about this idea of Katakuri teaming up with Luffy? We know that there's gonna be a battle between them, at least at some point in the future. But do you think that because Pudding and Kobe are now in the clutches of Teach, that they'll actually come together, at least for the short term, to save their friends and family? Let us know what you think in the comments below. So as we bring our video to a close, I would like to thank all of you so much for watching our video, especially those of you who have stuck with us all the way up here to the very end. Be sure you also comment on any themes or ideas that you'd like to see in future videos. And also, since you made it this far, give us a like and hit that red subscribe button before you head out to take on the rest of your day. I hope to see you all in our next video. Let's keep sailing this giant sea together. Take care.